Danny was always his own worst enemy. I want to shit in his Cadillac, you know? So you say mention Metal Maniac, they say, oh, Jimmy Snuka's bag boy. You know what I'm saying? He carried Jimmy's bags. Piece of shit. And fat fuck and a no good fucking washed up piece of shit. Book me, book me, book me, book me. I'm your best friend. Wrestlers have themselves made wrestling look bad. That dude is a fucking chump and a piece of fucking shit. And if you ever had the balls, and I said it to you in the locker room, I said, if you have the balls, be a man and stand up to me. You have something to say? You're awfully humble. You were awfully humble all those years while you were training. Yes, Drew, yes, Mr. Anderson, blah, blah, blah. But now you're a fucking asshole. And you're a piece of shit. That Thursday, we're going to the premiere of 350 Days. Obviously, we're doing that.
Yeah, you jerk. So now you're talking shit about two people.
No BS with ESS.
No BS. Yeah, true. That's true. You know, he knows his. You know, and that's why he was. You know, he's another good guy.
He brought Vader for. I think it was Vader. That was Vader's last interview. It was just recent. We did it with him a few months back. We did an hour-long interview at 12 midnight.
He brought Vader in.
Yeah, almost till 2 in the morning. Almost till 2 in the morning, right? Almost 2 hours. Is that O'Neal?
Wow. Yeah.
Talk about Vader. You knew Vader.
Vader. Oh God, Leon was a great guy. You know, I mean.
Did he talk politics with you a lot? He did like he did with us.
He talked a little bit of politics.
Conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theories like Jesse Ventura, but you know, I mean, Vader was mostly. Vader was quiet around me a lot. You know, he was very quiet around me. I remember a lot of when we wrestled Vader. Vader went ahead and I was in a program on the East Coast with Jumbo Joe Guns, and I remember Joe was supposed to run in during that match, and I just remember Vader literally knocked the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? And I remember Vader just coming up and giving me a couple of stiff shots. I remember when a couple of people told me, they said, Kevin Sullivan told me, he said, you just got to give it back to him. He goes, that's the only way you earn his respect. So he hit me once, he hit me twice. With that, he could get you in the ring, get you in the corner, give the bop, 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 and then give you the bop in the face. It really bopped me in the face. It really punched me in the ribs. So I went back, bop, bop, bop. If you watch the match, I really nailed him back. And then he sold, went down for me, bumped for me. And I worked his legs and dropped knees on him and elbows and everything. And we did a couple of matches together like that. And, you know, and then somebody wound up, Tom Lance, a promoter in Texas, wound up saying, all right, we're gonna put you no, was it Tom Lance? No, I don't think it was. It was Do It To It Promotions. It was I forgot the guy's name for Do It To Promotions. It was Steve Do It To It Cox, Steve Cox, but he was working with somebody else, and they put me in with Vader as a tag team against the Steiners, and it was a great match, really good match, and you know, I just remember promoters calling us up saying, we want to do that match again. We want to do it again. So we wound up doing it again for another promotion in Texas. Did it for another one. And we did it 3 or 4 times, you know. And it was good. It was good. I liked teaming with Bull. I called him Bull, you know. So
you've been in professional wrestling now, you would say 20 years or so?
25. 25.
What do you think of the new gen?
They're athletes. They're really good. I mean, what when you say the new gen, what do you mean the new gen?
Like the Graysons and
the Graysons are great kids. They're athletes. They're amazing. They're good, really good workers. Sonny Kiss is also, you know, phenomenal, talented guy. You know what I'm saying? He had his first match with me. You know, he had his first match with me. I looked at him like, what the fuck do I do with this guy?
Do you ever feel like you're like the elder statesman in the locker room at times? Does anybody ever come to you for advice, or it's just...
Yeah, they want to know, should I shit in this guy's bag or his fucking car? You know? No, seriously. But they do come to me for the ribs, too, you know? But then if they come to me for the ribs, they get ribbed, so, down the road, you know? So, poor bastards. But yeah, I do feel like it changed to a point where I was the guy who would shit in your hat. You know, now I'm the guy who freaking makes sure it's on straight, you know? So it's come full circle in a way, you know?
Do you consider yourself the leader of the ECPW locker room? And if not,
I don't consider myself a leader in any way, shape, or form of any locker room. I just like to sit and do my own thing. I don't do politics in any way, shape, or form. If they ask me advice, or if I see somebody doing something that is wrong, or they're doing it the wrong way, or they're doing it in a way that somebody get hurt, or if something looks utterly stupid, I will interject my opinion. But other than that, I want to make no bones about it. I really don't I try to stay to myself in any locker room. I stay with my friends, a couple of people here and there, and that's it. I've always been that way.
Who's your close-knit friends?
My close-knit friends. He's retired, but he always comes to the shows with me. Cuvatro, Ray Morales, the Flesh Eaters.
You guys do NWA Big Apple
Big Apple together, yep.
Yeah.
He comes to the shows, hangs out with me. In the East VW locker room.
Are those his contacts or those his real eyes?
Those are his contacts.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
You know, like, it depends on where I'm at. Cahega's Tokyo Monster, I'm with him a lot. You know what I'm saying? Locker rooms, I'm with him a lot. Mustang Mike Beetle, Mike Knox. Trying to think who else. I mean, I'm with a lot of guys. With Rodney, when we're in the locker room, it's me and Rodney. You know, in different parts of the country, I have different people who I tend to generate to and hang with that are more, have done things like when I wrestle in the Mid-South, I'm always with Mustang Mike. Now, Mustang Mike is busy running the show, so I usually sit with this kid, Jason Streets, who's a younger kid breaking into the business. An older guy, he's in his 40s, but I stay with him or this guy, what's his name? The guy was Stan Sweetan, who I always have a feud with. I usually sit with him and talk with him. I had a major feud with him for the Louisiana title recently. Guys like that, I'll sit with them, or I'll sit with referee James Beard, or even with Tim Storm. You know, I stay with a lot of the guys that I'm closer to. You know what I'm saying, or that from my generation. You know, because there is that little generation gap. Look at the Graysons. Me with the Graysons, there's no generation gap, because they like the same shit that I like. We're comic marks. You know what I'm saying? And I use that word, mark. I'm a comic mark, 100%. So, as I say, I walked into your room with all the toys, all the wrestling figures and stuff. I said, see, I don't mark out for that. That's work to me.
You said you don't collect anything.
I don't collect any
but you
wrestling.
collect Star Wars.
I collect Marvel comics, Marvel action figures, Marvel Legends. I collect Marvel Legends, anything pretty much horror, Universal horrors. I put together a lot of model kits on my downtime over the years. You know, a lot of everything from Freddy Krueger to Leatherface. And, you know, I pretty much dry brushed a lot of these model kits. Put together, I have a 6 foot tall, 6 foot long, 4.5 foot high Godzilla that I brought back from Japan with Jimmy Snuka.
Weren't you in a scene with Robert Englewood, but they got cut? Is that?
Yeah.
It did,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I did a lot of people, a lot of things that were cut. I mean, shit.
You still get paid for that.
Yeah, you're on the credits too. And on the credits
but
too.
does it bug you?
Say, you're still getting the credits.
You know what?
It
Like,
bugs you that
350 days. I'm in the movie, but I'm not in the movie. I make the final. Well, they interviewed 72 wrestlers. I think 40 made it, and you know, the director Fulvio and the producers Darren Antola and Wilkins, Dave Wilkins, yeah, Evan Ginsberg too. They said I will definitely be on the director's cut. So I'm holding them to their word, you know? But I'm in the credits, so you know. So, but
and speaking of Evan Ginsberg, you were also involved in the wrestler.
Evan Ginsberg is a great guy. I love the guy. I have a lot of respect for him. I have a lot of respect for Darren and Dave Wilkins. They have a love for wrestling and the business, and they're trying to do the best they can for all the old timers, especially. And I appreciate that. And you know, I'm getting up there to that wheelchair age soon too. You know, so I mean,
how many days on set were you when you were filming The Wrestler?
The Wrestler, I was on set for 4 days.
I was on set for 1 day.
I was on set for 4 days. 4 days, yeah.
I didn't have any speaking parts like you did.
I got actually a lot of. I'm not going to mention names again, but I've been. Certain locker room will never book me. Company will never book me only because I heard that the person who's in the movie The Wrestler doesn't like me because I say, I'm a heel. So I say co-star of the movie The Wrestler. I took that 1 minute scene and ran with it and made a shitload of money with it. You know that? I got endorsement from Fox Searchlight Pictures, Darren Aronofsky himself. He talked to me. He said to me, I remember I was pissing next to this guy. I had no idea who the hell he was. And he turns around and says, "You're a natural, man." He goes, "Those lines we gave you," he goes, "You went with it." And he said, "You're going to go somewhere in this business." And he walked away, and I was like, "Who the fuck was that?" And he was like, and then I realized it was Darren. And Darren was the guy who freaking auditioned me. with Evan Ginsberg, and it was pretty fucking cool, you know, and so, you know, Darren's great. Darren Aronofsky, another Darren, great guy. You know,
what was Mickey Rourke like?
Mickey Rourke was awesome. He was awesome. People say he's a pain in the ass, and no, he was fucking cool as beans, man.
That movie resurrected his career. He almost won an Oscar.
That movie resurrected my fucking career, you know, and I didn't win an Oscar. Yeah. You know, I didn't even get nominated, motherfuckers. No, but, you know, hell, after all, it was the co-star, right?
Now, what did you think of, like, the innuendos in the movie pertaining to steroids and drugs? Like, there was a scene where the guy's opening the bag and he's, like, selling.
You know what?
Did they portray professional wrestling in a negative light, would you say? Or
I don't think it portrayed it in a negative light. I think wrestling was already in a negative light.
I was going to ask you if they portrayed it in a real... more of a realist sense.
It was very realistic. It was very realistic, and I don't care. People will be mad at me for saying that. Some people say, "Oh, I don't like that movie. It made wrestling look bad." You know what? Wrestlers have made wrestling look bad. You know, it's been stigmatized through and through, over and over again, by different acts of different people, from Chris Benoit incident to the Hogan steroid trial, Vince McMahon steroid trial, whatever you want to call it, to everything going as far back as Sheik and Duggan in the car. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's you know, I think that was actually funny. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's, you know, fuck. How many times was I pulled over and I had shit in my car and I was like, oh, but you know, fuck. You know, so everybody's been there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I mean, you know, there's been a lot of negativity to affect the business, and you know, sometimes all press is not good press, you know, and in certain situations it's been really, really bad.
How did you get your gig in The Wrestler?
Evan Ginsberg contacted Gino, and Darren Aronofsky was at a Caruso show in, I think, in 2007 or 8. I think it was 2007 or 2008, and I remember Darren after the premiere of The Wrestler. He comes up and he goes, I just remember, big blonde guy swinging a chain, chasing people up the stairs, the bleachers like Bruiser Brody. He said, and I said, he's going to be in the movie. I want him audition. I want to see if he can read.
Nice.
And that's another difference between the people that are mad at me about what I did in The Wrestler, saying that
You got the role on your own merit.
I did. I auditioned for it. Myself, Pete Nixon, who was naked to the world, with his shirt, his red jumpsuit open, and I'm sorry, Pete, but you're a big guy. Your roles are out for everyone to see. And Pete Nixon, I brought Pete with me. I said, come on, we're going to audition for a movie. So I brought Pete with me. Pete got a role in the movie. Gino came out and brought me. He brought me, this other guy, I forgot the guy's name, brought some other guy with us. This kid Dominic, who wrestled as an Ultimate Warrior ripoff, you know. It was another moron that doesn't have respect for the business, doesn't understand shit from Shinola, and a wrist lock from a wristwatch. He was another asshole who didn't belong in this business. But he came, and Paul Enormous came with us too, and Necro Butcher, and The Truth, and a couple other people. We all auditioned. We weren't there because Pops had the wrestling school and was training Mickey and the cameraman on what to film, how to film it, and what to do. We auditioned. We were put on set as actors, and I was Screen Actors Guild because of that, because I had lines in the film. So, and it was a different situation with myself, which is why I've done the things I've done. You know, I mean, I saw somebody on a website out there saying, "Oh yeah, it was he paid for his own Skittles commercial." What the fuck? Is somebody fucking retarded? You know what I'm saying? Are they fucking retarded?
You have your own Wikipedia page.
Yeah,
a lot of people
was
don't have
doctored
that.
and destroyed.
No, I mean, it has a lot of things. You're trained by Gino Caruso, Kodiak Bear, and Nikolai Volkov. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's some things on Wikipedia.
You know, I read the Wikipedia page, a Wikia page. Is that
Wikia,
it?
yeah.
I read a Wikia page one time, and it said, and somebody from that company that can't stand me apparently went ahead on that Wikia page, and because you can have moderators do different things, they can fuck around. They have little control over. They wrote, and Andrew Anderson at the same time. The same night went to WCW, beat Bill Goldberg for the belt, and then that same night on Raw, he beat Steve Austin for a belt. And people call me saying, I didn't know you were WCW champion at the same time. That's a great... I'm like, you fucking retard. Somebody fucking worked the fucking gimmick on there. Come on, you know?
Did it get you any bookings because you were WCW champion?
Fuck no. It got me fucking... Probably fucking got... People say this guy's fucking fluffing his own fucking page. You know, I mean, I'm not the kind of guy who pats himself on the back or blows myself, you know what I'm saying, because I did something great, you know, but if I can get paid for it, I damn sure will fucking let people know about it on social media, you know what I'm saying? I mean, fuck. I work hard to do the shit that I do, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not one of these guys. I've earned the stuff I've done, you know, I mean, I busted my ass.
Let's see if what's true and what's not so we could fix the Wikipedia. So this is exactly what it says. Andrew Anderson, nephew of Ole and Arn Anderson.
Arn is no relation whatsoever. Okay.
Are you the nephew of Ole Anderson?
Yes.
Okay, so that part is true. Born in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
I was born in Cliffside Park, New Jersey.
I love it. You got to step up your game, Wikipedia.
I hail from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay, in 1967.
Yes, I'm 50 years old. My 50th birthday party was a night to be
Let me
remembered.
tell you something right now. In the last couple of years, you've really gotten in much better shape. Like
Thank you.
Everybody's been noticing, like, man, like, I don't know if that's from being in the hospital or what.
No, I just, you know what? I'm not going to be one of these 50-year-olds that can't work. A guy gets in the ring and say, well, like an old guy, another old guy in the ring. You know, I'm not going to be that old guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be that old guy. You know, eventually I'm going to get there, but while I'm able to do, I want to, you know.
You graduated in St. Peter's College.
Yes.
In 1989.
Yes, I did.
With a degree in business administration.
And marketing and management.
And marketing, they left that part out. And got his start in the wrestling world in 1997. Now, you were in since
1992, 93, because of Rocky Jones, and because of Gino Caruso, and Jimmy Snuka and the Metal Maniac.
Now, if you said if you were just 10 years earlier, you would have had a run.
No, everybody else said it.
Oh,
I never said it. Everybody else said that.
Right.
Tito Santana said that. You know,
they're a scary
Kevin
talent.
Kevin Sullivan, Don Morocco, all those guys. They've all said that to me. Jimmy Snuka, they all always said it. Tugboat, all those guys. They've all always, you know, and I love those guys. I love them all for putting me over like that, and I feel honored. But I also feel like a man displaced in time.
And got his start in the wrestling world in 1997. We just discovered by wrestling legend Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Yes.
God bless him. He trained extensively under the tutelage of Gino Caruso, Nikolai Volkov, and the Kodiak Bear.
And Jimmy Snuka.
Jimmy Snuka. Your first tag team partner was Volkov.
My first tag team partner was actually Craig Karsh, a.k.a. Craig Steele. That was the first guy I actually wound up tagging with. A.k.a. at the time he was known as the Pub Bully. Now he's known as Craig Steele. He was actually from... Before him, no, my first tag team partner was Billy Firehawk.
Okay.
My first tag team partner was Billy Firehawk. I teamed with Billy Firehawk for a number of matches with him first. And then my first tag belts were held with the Pub Bully, a.k.a. Craig Steele.
Here's some...
who was doing phenomenal in his 40s. I think he's 40 years old, excuse me. He's doing phenomenal right now, wrestling for WrestlePro and other companies. He's a good guy, really good guy. I love you, Craig. You got 2 kids, and God bless you. You really come a long way.
Here's some wrestling facts. It says your nickname was, and it still is, the Reinforcer. How did you come up with the nickname? Crowbar. Managers, Doug DeVito. He still manages you today. Mr. Big. Now, who's Mr. Big?
He's not a bad guy. John Wall. He manages me occasionally in New York shows. I managed me 4 or 5 times. That's about it.
And so, Rowdy Piper.
Piper managed me on a bunch of shows. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Piper was the one who was actually very adamant about trying to get me into WWE and saying, you know, a lot of shit. Piper was going to be the guy who was going to get me a full-time job and he was, you know, but it was really because he couldn't keep a job himself. You know what I'm saying? He was running back and forth, and so he was, you know, and once again, you know, it was great. Roddy was a great guy. He was very humbled to have been around him and have his advice and have him, you know, I actually teamed with him twice too. So it was pretty cool. It was cool, you know. I mean, he went out there and Piper had abs at one time when I was in the ring, and I was like, oh man, it's like, what the fuck? Jimmy has abs, now Piper's got abs. Piper never had abs, but he gets in the ring with me as my partner, and he's got abs. I'm like, what the fuck?
Now, do you guys? People look at Hulk Hogan in the main spotlight as the guy who's in the movies. But I mean, before that, Roddy Piper
Yeah.
You know, he left like in '87. He pursued acting. There was a lot of wrestlers.
Hulkster is also a very good friend of mine, and he's a sweetheart. And once again, I've gotten close with Hogan because of Brutus, because of Greg, and you know, so yes, I love Hulkster, and I always think what he has done, you know, is a step above everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
The whole racism thing, or
well, yeah. There's a lot of people, you know. That was undeniable. That was racist. Yes, you know, but you know, I got because there's proof right there. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I feel, you know, I really love Hogan. You know, I respect him. And
who doesn't? I mean, everybody, whoever's a wrestling fan,
you got it. He's
Hulk
like
Hogan, Ric Flair,
the Babe Ruth and the Mickey Mantle of pro wrestling. You know, I mean, right there.
Now, your film career, it says Andrew Anderson starred as the werewolf.
Yes.
And director, but
Mike Russin's Cinema Sky Productions of Creepy Tales.
Girls Night
Out. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. It was an anthology. Yes, it was pretty cool. It was my first time doing the stunts, and I just remember being in this matted down werewolf costume with contacts that were not prescription, and I got this jaw that's not moving, but they have a remote on it that's making the teeth come out, the lips go up, and the teeth and the drool come out through a little tube, and I can feel the stuff coming out while it's there, and it's actually leaking into the mask, and I got all this chest hair glued all over my body, and it was obviously pre-CGI, or they didn't have the budget for CGI, and the scene was I was supposed to dive off a garage roof onto a loving couple, and they filmed the loving couple, and then they get ready for my scene, so I'm climbing up the roof, and I'm doing the whole werewolf thing, and I'm just about to dive to do my stunt, because they couldn't afford stuntmen too. It was a small company, so it was my entrance, my moment into acting. So just about to dive, and they set up this fucking crash pad that was made out of multitude of mattress, cardboard boxes, another mattress, and then like a canvas over it. And just as I'm about to dive, it breaks, falls down, and I'm in mid-flight, and I'm like, whoa! And I just remember landing flat, and I overshot it. My upper body landed like this, and my feet and everything landed, my chest and everything landed on the flattened mattress. I just thought my shoulders are dislocated, and I just remember lifting up, and my hands were my imprints of the werewolf hands were actually in the grass. That's how hard I hit. I just remember that thud, and my whole body jarred. It was the worst bump I've ever taken. I mean, the most painful bump I've ever taken. It was fucking horrible. But the movie turned out pretty good. It had a really nice, it got Fangoria magazine and Rue Morgue magazine gave it pretty much a good thumbs up and everything, considering it was what it was for the time, you know. But it was cool.
Man, I'm sure you got like a lot of stories from your acting career. I mean, there's an incident with Bobby Brady. You want to talk about that in a hotel? Come on, share it with us.
Just this past chiller, a friend of mine for a long time. I know him for maybe 15 years, maybe 20 years. Mike Lookinland, Bobby Brady, a.k.a. Bobby Brady from the Brady Bunch. He's drunk as a skunk, and we're in the hotel room, and the promoter of big event, Tom Younger, picks up fucking Bobby Brady, slams him on the bed once, slams him on the bed twice. And Bobby gets up and goes, "You're gonna kill me." I go, "Let's go. Just get the fuck on the bed." I push him back on the bed and freaking slam him. And then he's trying to negotiate with me and wait. "Please, you gotta get me on the plane in the morning." I said, "Mike, I can't get you on the fucking plane. I'm going to fucking bed. I'm going to go. You gotta make sure I'm up at 5 in the morning." I said, "Dude, you gotta be up at 3. At 4 because the shuttle picked up." Needless to say, he was so drunk that he missed his shuttle. He fucked up the plans for everybody. But that's Mike, a looking man for you. So, but he's a nice guy. He's a really nice
thanks
guy.
for sharing that. Is that it? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I thought you were. Now you have some other. You're involved in a lot of other acting that it's not here. But
Yeah.
I mean, anybody currently watching on Amazon Prime.
Sneaky Pete. I play a recurring role as an arms dealer, you know, and Sneaky Pete. So which is pretty cool.
Now, how did you get that role? Is it
I have a great agent. My agency, Roger Paul, and you know, he's a great agent. He works with a lot of Hollywood actors, and he works bi-coastal in California and New York. And I have a great management team with Pat Horgan, Kelly. I can't even say her last name, and Dolfini, and Mike Mullen. They see. I went the distance. And I said, I'm going to succeed in this any way I can. So I not only have an agent, but I have managers. So I have a management team that works with me on a lot of stuff. So they take care of the shit, the day-to-day stuff that I'm not a tech guy. They handle all that stuff, and they do a lot of stuff for me, and they make sure that I'm out there, and I get booked in conventions, and I get they help me maintain relevancy. That's a good way of putting it, right?
Absolutely.
They help me maintain relevancy, you know what I'm saying? Because in this age of the Graysons and everybody else that, can do a lot more than I can, you know what I'm saying? And as I get older, you get more limited, and, so but you want to be remembered for that, what you did, and you want to have some kind of legacy. I mean, look, I'm still going to have my detractors that are going to look at this video and say, oh, fuck him, fuck him, he's a piece of shit, I had one wrestler call me a piece of shit, and fat fuck, and a no good fucking washed up piece of shit, and then all of a sudden I ran into him in the locker room, and he's, oh, it's just being a heel. Well, fuck you. Fuck you. When you saw the size of me, I think you shit yourself, pal. Fuck, I boxed for a number of years and fucking,
You want to bury him a little bit? Or?
No, I don't want to bury anybody. I don't want to bury you. I'm not out to bury anybody.
I'm kidding.
But I'm not like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know. But let's talk about your acting, because I find that really fascinating. Now, Sneaky Pete is being picked up for season 2?
Season 3.
Season 3 now?
Season 3, yeah. Season 3.
Now, how did you get that role?
I auditioned. I went to Manhattan, and Sneaky Pete, I Skyped. I Skyped the role for Sneaky Pete. I didn't think I would actually get it. I Skyped that role. Gotham, I went and opened.
They were going to talk about that next.
I went put into Gotham. I went through an audition, and they looked at me right away, and the lady said to me, she goes, "You got it." I said, "Okay," but I heard that before, So I was like, and I got the call. I said, "You got the role. You're one of the demons," and I got the role. I didn't know which demon I was there for, but then I got it. Now I told that my character's not dead, and I'm coming back, and season 5, I think it is, or whatever, the final season.
I think it's like 5 or 6.
Yeah, so they said you're back on this, so I already got the call for that, and I'm going to be doing that. I went to Wardrobe and I filmed at Steiner Studios at the old Brooklyn Navy Yard, and Steiner Studios, and everybody right down the whole production. That's the best production crew I've ever worked with at this point. Yeah.
Now, is that why we don't see you much in ECPW
anymore?
Yeah,
because I'm actually doing other Netflix series, Marvel comics.
O'Neill.
3
Marvel.
3 in a row. 3 in a row, 3 different series. I can't divulge, but all I got to say is that I will be. Let me hint. I will have no fear.
Are you guys wrapped in production?
I will have no fear, and there will be some punishment dished out, and maybe I will be looking for Jessica Rabbit. How's that? Little hints right there. Okay, so.
Good hints.
So yes, this could be my big breakthrough. So that as far as what were you saying?
No, we were just talking about
So that's going on, and I just
Gotham. This is.
I auditioned. I was sent in, and they requested me for 3 episodes of
You
HBO's
seem very
Crashing.
grateful. You're level-headed, Drew. I mean, you're not like one of those guys that
on, dude.
you get Hollywood and you see us and you're just like, hey guys,
I'm a fucking Jersey kid at heart, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fucking comic book geek, dude. I'm no different than anybody else.
Do you ever see other
I still
people?
shit. It smells,
Do you ever see other people like that change and it's disappointing to you, or that?
Oh yeah. That whole next gen. A lot of guys. Some of the guys that are in that, they've changed. I've seen them change. I've seen the attitudes. One person I will bury. Is maybe I should. Maybe I can.
You don't have to mention names.
No, I'll just give you this. He's looks like a howdy doody, and he's got a broken tooth, and he was involved in that toy guy thing show like that. Attack That Toy Guy thing. That dude is a fucking chump and a piece of fucking shit. And if you ever had the balls, and I said it to you in the locker room, I said, if you have the balls, be a man and stand up to me. You have something to say? You're awfully humble. You were awfully humble all those years while you were training. Yes, Drew. Yes, Mr. Anderson, blah, blah, blah. But now you're a fucking asshole, and you're a piece of shit. So, you know who that is. So, he's a piece of shit. And I'd like to give him some more broken teeth to match the ones that are in his head if he ever got in a ring with me, but that's besides the point. So.
But does that animosity come from?
That comes from an attitude that he had, and that he jumped on that racist bandwagon, attacking me with that for no reason whatsoever. He had no reason. just because fucking some jabronis were fucking shitting on me because they thought something was true, which was not, and this guy, and then when I realized everything was over, everybody else apologized, including the guy. I made my peace with even the guy who was supposedly I was being racial towards, and he realized it was all a farce. You know, it was a way to fucking this one jerk off to get himself over on me supposedly, which backfired when I realized he was an asshole. But you know, but this kid, okay, I'll come out and say you're a fucking little cocksucking freaking piece of shit. That's the one dude I do not respect in this business. Has no business being in this business. I'll come out and say that.
We heard a good story. Me and Mike were talking to another wrestler, Corey Dillinger, and he had a great story that involved you and his graduation. Yeah,
I was very proud of him. You know, very proud of him. Once again, how am I fucking racist? He's black. You know, he let everybody know he was graduating college. And I was the only one who fucking showed up out of all the wrestlers. The guy fucking graduated. You know, he did great. He was so proud. I was the only one who showed up to his graduation. You know, I found that, you know, well, you know, it was cool. You know, he deserved it. He worked hard, and he wrestles hard, and he's a good worker, and he's one of those guys that gets it. And Corey's a really good guy. I like him. He's very humble. You know, like the Graysons. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's just, you know, Sonny Kiss, always nice. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all these guys. You know. But some of them, you know, they don't even walk up to you and say hello to you anymore. They just they don't acknowledge you. They don't, you know, they just don't. I mean, Mike Orlando, nice guy. You know what I'm saying? Says hello to you and everything. But a lot of these other guys, they just don't, you know, they don't really acknowledge you. It's just weird, you know. I mean, fuck. It would be like me walking in the locker room and seeing Greg Valentine and everybody else and Rob Van Dam and everybody and saying, you know, just walk past me, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Or back in my day, it would be like walking in the locker room saying hello to all your friends, but not saying hello to Gino, Kodiak Bear, and Jimmy Snuka, and Rocky Jones, the Executioner, and Crowbar, and Nunzio. It'd be like me just snubbing them, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it bothers me, you know what I'm saying? I'm from a different era. Maybe those guys are part of that entitlement era that they're entitled to everything. You know, my own daughter is like that sometimes, you know. She acts like she's entitled. My oldest, you know. So.
Sure, you want to bury your daughter on this?
I'm not burying it. It's that age.
I'm kidding.
It's that age. She knows it. She's that age. You know. I mean, look, it's that age. It's. I guess it's the age. I don't know. That's when I start feeling my my age. When I just realize there's a generation gap. I'm starting to sound like my father and everybody else. You know. You start getting that. Well, when I was your age, I walked to school 4 miles. You know. Well, you know. So.
Any standouts? Any ECBW locker room specifically?
Standouts.
Any standout? Any breakout stars?
The Graysons definitely. The Graysons, Sonny Kiss, obviously. That stand alone already. That just breaking out on their own. They did great. You know what I'm saying? My favorite standout was not necessarily only ECPW, but he was really from the Monster Factory. He was Louis the Punisher Martinez. Louis had some great matches with me over the years, and we had fun, and he was a great guy, and he took Ring of Honor, and he took to it like a fish to water, and God bless him. Proud of him, tremendously proud of him.
What do you think of Dan the Man as ECPW champion, the face of the company, his moniker? What do you
fine,
think?
Whatever, you know, he's good, you know. I mean, he's a good guy, he's a good worker, he works hard, you know. I mean, Dan's fine, Dan's a good champion, you know. I mean, Frankie Flo was a good champion, you know. I mean, the guys have been picked as champions are fine, you know. I mean, I never liked being champion, honestly.
You were champion 3 times.
4 times.
4 times.
I never liked being champion. I never liked it.
Why?
Because it was like everybody else would always, you know, have heat. Everybody else would always pick at you like a scab. You know, like, why does this guy got to have the belt again? Why does this guy have? I didn't want the belt again. I had it once, that was fine. First time was awesome. Second time was okay, but then the next few times it was like, you know, I was like, all right, you know, people are getting fucking upset. Give it to somebody else, you know, whatever. I mean, it was ruffling feathers, but you know what? It was like when they kept. I guess in a way, people were getting mad when Flair kept getting the belt way back when. You know, why are you putting on this old guy? You know what I'm saying? Putting it on him all the time, you know?
And wrestled for another 20 years.
Yeah, and wrestle, yeah, exactly. And you know what? It's just like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm still wrestling, you know what I'm saying? And I'm still doing it, you know? But the bottom line is this. I will say this. I will give you this. Look at the numbers. The crowds were the biggest when I was the champion, you know? They were always the biggest draw. Yes, Joey G. Ask Joey G, ask any of the Brooklyn guys, ask anybody old on the East Coast guys over there. You know, the crowds were always the best. So, you know, it may be because I drew a lot of heat. I don't know, you know. So, and then it was cool, you know, and that was also I think that was the year that Jimmy got inducted. I think I'm not sure. I think that's when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think that was it. But I know Stan Hansen was there and Jimmy, and that was the first time I met Mark Lewin.
Mark Lewin, absolutely.
I met Mark, and you know, and yeah, Mark Lewin was one of my idols growing up. I mean, I love the Purple Haze, yeah.
Purple Haze.
And now I'm doing the freaking Purple Haze when Kevin manages me, and he manages, you know.
Very underrated guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Great. Kevin was underrated as far as wrestling ability too. He was a phenomenal worker, and he was actually a bodybuilder for a time, and he looked tremendous. Mark Lewin, one of the best physiques in wrestling too.
I remember at Legends of the Ring, Kevin Sullivan. I mean, I was telling him, like, one of the reasons I started watching WCW is, and he cut me off. He goes, "Oh, the NWO." I was like, "No, you and Chris Benoit just beating the ever-loving shit out of each other."
That feud was amazing.
And
you know?
that got me hooked to WCW. It wasn't the NWO. I mean, NWO much later on, but I mean, man, that was some great stuff.
That was some crazy shit, you know.
I never saw two guys just kill each other the way like Chris Benoit and Kevin Sullivan did in '96.
Yeah, that was a work shoot at the time, you know. That was a work shoot.
It turned into a shoot, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah, well, the reality of it was, you know, what happened, and, you know, you can't go back and change time.
Did you know Nancy at all? No, Nancy Sullivan?
No.
You didn't know her at all?
No. I met Chris Benoit a handful of times. That was it, you know.
Do you think Kevin Sullivan did it? That's one of the popular
That's
rumors.
fucking sick fucking people out there, man. Sick and stupid fucking people. You know what I'm saying? If you guys only knew the truth. If you guys only knew what I know. That'll be for Kevin to tell you guys. But I've heard it from Kevin. I know everything that really happened. And just as far as the inside scoops about everything, the personal life and everything, that's, you know, he had a tumultuous relationship with Nancy.
That's something you're allowed to talk about, but without talking about the legal stuff.
Yeah, I just, it was a tough thing going on there with Nancy, with him and Nancy towards the end. But, you know, what happened with Benoit was their own thing. Had Kevin that was long out of the picture by then, so, you know.
Yeah.
So, but it is what it is, you know. But, you know, anything else you guys want to talk about?
Let's, you know, pick this back up. You know, we're going to go back up
Yeah.
now. Any final words to your fans, your peers, promoters?
Listen, I just thank everybody for, you know, just keep me out there, keep me relevant, coming to see me. You know, you know what the part that really bothers me? I'll tell you what really, and I guess
What really grinds your gears?
What grinds my gears? Well, besides the broken tooth guy, you know, it's when fans come up to you and they say, "I used to watch you when I was a kid," and I'm like, "Oh my God," you know. I remember that show in at the Elks Lodge here, or in Queens over here, or in New York or Pennsylvania here, or I saw you in Florida here, I saw you here in this one. I was like, damn, they remember this shit. They remember you. I remember one guy coming up saying, "I saw you wrestle in Florida," and I was like, "What year?" And he goes, 1999. And I was like, then another guy came up to me and said at a convention, "I remember seeing you in Mississippi at the Philadelphia, Mississippi something or another." And I said, "I wrestled against Vic Devine on that show, and then another one, I remember wrestling you wrestled in Memphis, and I wrestled against Doug Gilbert." And I'm like, holy fuck, these guys remember this shit. And they come to the convention and they say that, but they're not much older than me. And, you know, that's the part that you're like, you know? So,
I mean, look at all the promotions that you've wrestled. I mean, I have the list here, courtesy of Wrestlers Database, Cage Match,
It's
cagematch.net.
not very accurate, though.
Yeah. Well, it's not as, but I mean, it has here. I mean, just in 2018, I know you've wrestled more than 4 times. So then, I mean, that's inaccurate right there.
Yeah, was that ECBW?
Yeah, no, I think that's not even accurate.
You have no idea how many times I've
you know, but just looking at the history here, and you're a history guy, and like Kevin Sullivan, I mean, talk about some of the promotions that you've wrestled in. The good, man. The bad.
I've wrestled. I never knock them. I don't knock any promotions. I mean, everybody's out.
Without naming them.
I mean, there's been some really bad ones. I mean, there's been some stuff. I mean, you just.
What makes a bad promoter to educate some guy that thinks that he just run a show?
When they book their friends, you know, guys have no business being in the ring. You know, somebody, I think James Beard just posted a poster that had something on the thing. Main event, champion, the Booker versus this ECW guy. Well, he probably worked in ECW once, but probably not.
When it was Eastern Championship Wrestling.
And nobody knows who the fuck he is, and he did the job on the undercard, you know. And then it's got everything else written on it, and it's got like a local skinny guy, and this one. It's just, you know, all the big names eventually come on those shows. You start on the top, you work your way in the bottom. So to me, it's all pro wrestling.
What do you love more, acting or wrestling?
I'll always love wrestling. Wrestling is, I'm a wrestler. I wrestled in high school for Promise Catholic. I wrestled St. Peter's, and the wrestling program was horrible, but no. So, I mean, hey, man, it's, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't knock anybody's promotion. I don't knock anybody.
I mean, you're really you're really making some noise with the acting. I mean, you're in all the shows we just talked about, and I mean, HBO, Netflix, Amazon. You're talking about you're reaching millions of people.
Bro,
beyond
listen to me.
millions of people.
I started off actually. The first thing I've ever done was a Viking commercial. I was one of the Vikings rowing on a GE commercial, and a little Viking ship comes by like a catamaran with a GE fan powering the. You remember that? Powering the sail. It just goes past us. It was a GE commercial, and we're all like that. That was the first thing I've ever done. I got royalties for that for a while, and that's when I realized it was pretty cool.
Want to do a little karaoke? Since we're
Really?
talking about music, we're talking about Kiss. Got a microphone here.
Wow.
I don't want to put you on the spot at all, but anything you like?
The bigger the cushion, the sweeter the pushing. That's what I say. The looser the waistband, the deeper the quicksand. So I have read. My baby fits me like a flesh tuxedo. I'd like to sink her with my pink torpedo. Big bottom, talk about bun cakes. My girl's got 'em. Big bottom, drive me out of my mind. How can I leave her behind? I met her on Monday, 'twas my lucky bun day. You know what I mean? I love her each weekday, each velvety cheek day. You know what I mean? My love gun's loaded and she's in my sights. Big Dame is waiting there inside her tights, yeah! Big bottom, get this. Talk about mud flaps, my girl's got 'em. Big bottom, drive me out of my mind. How could I leave her behind?
Woo! That was awesome. Wow.
Thank you.
Just made my day.
No applause, just 10s and 20s.